building a healthy trading routine, balancing health and performance. So we know how we've went over how important mind and body connection is. So we just need to have that at the forefront of our brains as we move forward in today's discussion about, balancing health and performance, because to be an optimal trader, a lot of pieces of the puzzle have to come together for you to achieve what you want to achieve in trading. You can't just stare at the screen the entire day and neglect your diet, your workout, your sleep, and expect to perform optimally. So that's what we're going to be jumping into today. Again, quick and concise lesson, 2 parts. First part is going to be the foundation of a healthy trading routine, and part 2 is time management for avoiding burnout. 2 important things, I would say, for sure. So let's jump into it. The foundations of healthy trading routine. The importance of pre and post market routines. So I have talked to you guys over and over and over again about setting up a routine for yourself, especially pre-market, about doing something difficult that you don't want to do, something that gets your head in the right mind space, or head in the right mind space, and just doing something that is going to clear the brain fog, wake you up. I know, especially for us on the West Coast, waking up for, pre-market 6:15, if you usually, wake up at 7 or 8, could be, quite the challenge. So we're going to jump into how important it is to set up these routines for optimization. So the importance of pre and post market routines are what we're talking about are structured routines before and after trading sessions to prepare the mind and decompress effectively. And this stuff's important. So pre-market routines help improve focus and readiness, while post-market routines promote reflection and emotional recovery. Yeah, got it. So I really do recommend to you guys that to create a pre-market checklist, and that could be something like making sure you're up to date on any economic news, reviewing your risk parameters for whatever account that you're trading today, and then a brief mindfulness exercise. And for those of you who have never done that or are unfamiliar with it, it can be as simple as taking a couple deep breaths at your desk. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to do a 15-minute meditation, even though we know that's super beneficial for us. But I also really, really do recommend, if the weather permits it, to go outside, take those deep breaths out there, and then come back. It's just going to set you up to trade effectively, without brain fog or fatigue or anxiety or whatever it is that you typically face during your day-to-day stuff. If you come into your job, we'll call your job trading, if you come into this job unprepared, not reviewing your notes, and in a headspace that's kind of all over the place, you're setting yourself up for failure. So something as simple as having a 5-minute little routine, getting up to date on the news, reviewing your risk parameters, and then taking a couple deep breaths can really just be something small that you can see great change in your routine by doing. So moving forward, and this one's really important to me, as you guys might guess, I sit in front of the computer all day long. Sometimes my days are shorter and longer, but balancing your screen time with physical activity is super important. And I can jump into the scientific reasons of this, but we'll just jump into a couple notes that I have here about actually improving and optimizing your trading. So prolonged screen time can lead to mental fatigue, reduced productivity, and physical strain, along with eye strain and headaches and the whole thing. For those of you who have worked from home before, you might have experienced some of these symptoms before, but it's something that can get overlooked and kind of pushed past if we're really focused on our work or our trading or whatever it might be. But what I encourage you guys to do is integrate short breaks in between. Maybe you run meetings all day, or let's take trading, for example. And we'll get into this in the second part about setting up a routine where you are only trading during X hours. And then if you get a signal to take a trade, then you jump back on the computers. But from my experience in my research of highly efficient and profitable day traders, typically it looks like they're only trading 1 to 3 hours a day. And that doesn't mean they're in a trade for that long, but that includes the prep time, paying attention to the market, and then sitting back and patiently waiting. waiting for the optimal time that they typically look for entries to take a trade. And that's not a an end all be all for everybody. You don't have to subscribe to a couple hours during the day, and that's the only trades you take. But it is a commonality that you see between successful traders is that they have a routine. They only are jumping on and taking trades during essentially from market open to 10 a.m. PST or whatever it might be. So when we talk about integrating structured breaks, that you have to work backwards. You have to know when you're going to be on the computer to integrate those breaks. So and we'll get into how to set up a schedule in the latter part. I jumped ahead a little bit, but techniques as simple as just working for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break can really, really boost your focus, get rid of mental fatigue, whatever it might be. So I don't want to beat the dead horse here, but it is important. I want to remind you, if you do get stuck on the computer from your own will, just trying to research a trade, or you're just staring at the charts, waiting for something to pop up, those 5-minute breaks can be lifesavers. So just a little optimization tip for you. So jumping into part 2, we're getting into time management for avoiding burnout. So this is something that a lot of traders experience, and really anyone who sits at burnout is a commonality between any vocation that you have, especially if you work a 9 to 5 and then you're trying to learn a difficult skill set on the side, like trading. Burnout can creep in on you very quickly, and you probably won't realize it until you're like throw your hands up in the air and you're done with it. So, take what you can from this, because it is important and it can happen and it will sneak up on you. So prioritizing tasks and trading hours. So Jojo talks about it all the time. Braden and I also scream this from the mountaintops. Focus on high quality trades during your peak market hours, whatever that looks like for you. But you got to focus on taking those high quality trades. And then why journaling is so beneficial, you can see in the market how often or when during the day are you taking your highest quality setups. And then from there, you can start to build your schedule. Like, okay, I take my best setups from market open to an hour and a half past. And then you can kind of build your schedule around there. Be like, okay, I'm going to do my pre-market routine. I'll be at the computer 15 to 30 minutes before market open. And then I'll be paying attention to the charts for 2 hours. And then you can chunk that out. And then potentially do, power hour, whatever other optimal trade entries that you typically fall into. You can set aside time for that. But once you're able to measure and manage where your optimal trade entries typically fall, you're going to really help yourself to reduce burnout instead of staring at the charts all day waiting for something to pop up and you really don't know when it's going to pop up. So just a little tip for you guys: journal what time that you guys are often taking trades, and you'll find the highest quality ones are typically probably around the same time of day. So moving forward on that, let's see. I jumped ahead of myself again. So setting a daily time for trading activities and block off time for hobbies and relaxation. Rather, once you find those high quality typical entries for yourself, having structured breaks throughout your day, maybe it's an hour lunch if you are moving from your 9 to 5 to your full-time trading career. That stuff can be essential to avoiding burnout. And for my own, I used to work essentially from 45 minutes pre-market till post-market, and then I would do all my personal activities after market close. And I found it to be unsustainable, and I was reaching burnout. So integrating those small breaks, taking a little longer lunch break has really helped me just be able to work consistently. And sometimes I'm working for the full day, but it doesn't feel like it because of these integrated breaks. So it's super important, and it has helped me on an anecdotal level quite a bit. So we're wrapping up here. We'll talk about integrating wellness practices into your day. So I know this sounds so very elementary, but it is so important, often too overlooked. The getting proper hydration, regular meals, and mindfulness exercises are essential to optimize your trading. And again, I don't want to lose anyone here. Just listen to me for one moment. So often do we not set our systems don't promote this optimization for hydration or working out or regular meals. And so when you get focused on something and you're trying to build a skill set like trading, that stuff can be overlooked. And then until your body's screaming at you to go get water or food or, get outside, you won't do it. So I really, really encourage you guys to set up habits for yourself. Like when you wake up, you already have, like, I have my water bottle that I go everywhere with. And I'll always have that next to my bed when I wake up in the morning. 16 ounces as soon as I wake up, I drink it. And setting that up throughout the day so you're properly hydrated, you potentially meal prep, whatever it might be, whatever you need to do to set yourself up for this stuff, because you cannot ignore biology. If you guys continuously put off these necessities for sustenance, you're going to find yourself, you may not notice it, but you will be performing at a lower level than optimal. So when we talk about this skill set that we're trying to all develop here at a really high level, we really do, we ought to be paying attention to what our biology is telling us and what we have to do to perform at a high level, and that's taking care of your body. So you can often go down a rabbit hole when I talk about health and wellness and mind and body connection, how important the two, and they're intertwined and inseparable. So I don't want to jump into that so much today, but here's your just reminder: integrate systems into your daily routine to optimize this stuff. Don't ignore your biology. And again, if you want to perform at a high level, this stuff is super important: hydration, regular meals, working out, mindfulness exercises. And again, for those of you who have not practiced mindfulness exercises, that can be going outside and just looking at the trees, taking a few deep breaths, whatever it might be for you. But you can't ignore it if you are trying to perform at the highest level of your ability in trading and at any skill set in life, really. So, midday activities is something I really find benefit in. Like, just after lunch, when I still have work to do, I'll go get a workout in at the gym. Takes in and out within an hour, and that break in between of doing something physically hard, the endorphins released from working out, you know, there's just so much benefit that comes from integrating something like working out into your midday activity. So if you like to work out in the morning, all the more power to you. Find something else like playing an instrument or going for a walk or whatever it might be. Midday can be really beneficial. And I know I don't want to say this to those who are working a job that doesn't permit you to do that stuff, but find the time, make the time if you can't find it, to integrate really small breaks. Just if you're seeking optimization in your skill set, that's what it takes. You can't just ignore biology and just hyper focus on the charts, because that focus will fade. The brain fog will start to creep in if you are neglecting these other things, especially sleep. We don't talk about sleep enough, but get your sleep schedule right. All right, folks. So our last little part here is, how to craft a balanced daily schedule. So I'm not going to, spew anything toward you guys too much. I'm going to be coming up with some PDFs for you guys. Kind of an outline of what a schedule might look like for you, pre and post market, how to incorporate those little breaks. But just for those of you who want to get started today, if you want to craft a daily routine for trading, essentially, is three things that you should include in it is pre-market prep. So that would be stuff like your economic news check, you're reviewing your risk parameters for your account, and taking a couple deep breaths. Cool. Got that. Pre-market preparation. The second one would be trading periods with planned breaks. So again, going back to why journaling is so important, finding what time of days you take your best trades, sticking to those time frames. So have those blocks in place. Again, this might take some time for you to be able to measure what times do work best for you. But once you get that figured out, incorporate breaks in between that stuff. So, say you trade power hour, take 10 minutes before power hour to go outside, play an instrument, whatever it might be, read a book, just do something for yourself to relax, take a couple deep breaths. So when you go down and sit at the desk, there's no brain fog. You're ready to transition from whatever activity you were doing to something that's really important to you, so you're able to focus well. And the third thing being, when you're daily schedule for this stuff is wellness practices like physical activity, mindfulness, and leisure time. Incorporating leisure time is important. Oftentimes, we say we don't have enough time in the day, but we allot ourselves so much time to do nothing throughout the day. It could be super, it's just not good for us folks. When we talk about trying to become really good at something like trading, and I think that's the goal for all of us here, especially of us in this class who do take the time to go beyond just the copy trading or the technical lessons to try to find a deeper understanding about why you do the things you do and how to optimize this stuff. It is, if we are not managing our time correctly, it is very easy for us to become extremely mediocre. And it's because we, like, again, by James Clear here, we fall to the levels of our systems. So if our systems are terribly managed as far as time, how are we going to take the proper steps to find out what we need to do and how to compound your skill set? Because again, incorporating leisure time is important. I just want you guys, essentially, short version of what I'm saying is I want you guys to schedule that into your day. And, I'm sure a lot of, productive members that are listening to this now, like, yeah, oh, I know, yeah, I can only take an hour for my leisure time or whatever it might be. But too many of us do not schedule that in, and we have all this free time. And then we look at the clock and it's time for bed. And you're like, I feel like I didn't get anything done today. Like, you're not managing your time well at all. So I just really, really, really encourage you guys, if you are trying to become the best version of yourself and whatever skill set you're trying to develop, you have to manage your time. Your time is precious and it is a gift and it is fleeting so quickly. So schedule the leisure activities, schedule the studying, schedule the technical analysis, schedule this stuff, make time blocks for yourself. Once you have those time blocks of an hour of study, an hour of leisure, an hour, whatever it might be, if stuff needs to get shifted, you can shift it really easily. Then you can just grab those little time blocks and move them wherever you need to, but you'll still get everything done throughout the day that you said you were going to get done. So, short version, create yourself a schedule, incorporate everything into it, and you're going to be able to not only better manage your time, but you're going to start to see progress sooner and faster than you would if you did not. So really, really, that stuff's just so important. And you see it all the time. People not taking advantage of the time they have, and time just slips away, and they look back on their life 10 years later. It's like, man, I really, really did not do a lot with the gift of life. So I just encourage you guys to manage your time. I hope you guys didn't get that in the last 5 minutes. Anyway, so I leave you guys with this. My closing statement is a healthy trading routine supports both peak performance and overall well-being. By building structured habits, balancing screen time with self-care, and avoiding burnout through intentional time management, you can find long-term success in trading. And that's essentially, and I'll put that in the chat if you guys didn't catch that one, but this stuff's really important and it's often overlooked. And sometimes these lessons can seem elementary and just like little reminders, but it's the little stuff that really does make the difference. It's not the big stuff in life. Of course, those things should be celebrated and they're awesome when they do come, but it really is about the systems you set up for yourself. So if you're not managing your time properly, like your leisure time, and you're not, incorporating healthy breaks in between your work and balancing the work, I forget what they call it, but balancing your screen time and your physical activity and your diet and your hydration and the whole thing. If you guys aren't setting yourself up for this stuff, it's, you're not setting yourself up for optimization. And that's just what we're trying to do here is we're trying to promote the best version of yourself. And so I appreciate you guys being here today and listening to me go on about this stuff. I'm passionate about it, and it makes a big difference in my life. And I just want to share the gift that I was given of that wisdom to you guys. And it's pretty cool. And yeah, so that's all I got for you today. I have some more structured curriculum coming to you guys here shortly, but I was thinking about that, how like, how do I set up everybody for this structured curriculum that's coming in future lessons? It's like, oh, I should create a schedule, or at least show them how to create a schedule for optimization. And maybe a time block would, for listening to or studying, JoJo's technical analysis, watching him trade, and potentially watching one of John's YouTube videos on 2.5 or 1.5 times speed, whatever it might be. You can time block that an hour and a half out of your day if you want to optimize your trading. And maybe it's from some other creator on YouTube who you find a lot of knowledge, or whatever it might be from. So yeah, I just appreciate you guys, and thanks for being here. If you guys got any questions, I'm here for it. But as far as curriculum go, that's it for today. Cool. Well, it doesn't seem like we have a whole lot. It's always good to see you guys, just your little profile pictures in here, and talk with you guys a little bit. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed your time with family, if you were able to, during Thanksgiving and the last weekend. And as we move into Christmas and whatnot, I know it can be hard for a lot of people. So I just encourage you to let go and forgive, not for the person who might have wronged you, but forgive for yourself. Let that stuff go. And I know it's so much easier said than done, but it's so beneficial. Practice gratitude, folks. That stuff really will change your life in a really good way. Again, it's about the small stuff, not the big stuff. So, yeah, well, it looks like that's it, folks. If you guys need anything from me as far as creating a schedule for yourself, a risk management PDF, we'll go through your risk management parameters per your account on your own. If you want to talk about setting up a budget, working out, diet, whatever it might be, my DMs are always open. Just shoot me over, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. All right, folks. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you later.